What's good, Dub Nation? The Warriors' front office isn't just making moves, they're orchestrating the most calculated championship heist in NBA history. While other teams are scrambling in panic mode, Golden State has been quietly positioning 3 game-changing pieces that could transform this roster overnight. Picture this. A 22-year-old point guard prodigy whose basketball IQ is so off the charts that NBA scouts are calling him the next Steve Nash. His brother? Already tearing up playoff defenses at the highest level. And the Warriors just scheduled a private workout with him. Then there's the 6'9" stretch big who's shooting nearly 40% from 3, while averaging close to 15 points per game. He's got a player option this summer, and multiple sources are telling me Golden State is positioning themselves as the frontrunner. This guy could solve every spacing problem the Warriors have ever had. But here's the nuclear option, and I'm talking about the move that would send shockwaves through the entire league. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, you heard that right. The Greek freak himself might be exploring his options, and the Warriors' name keeps coming up in those backroom conversations. Stick around because by the end of this breakdown, you'll understand exactly why this summer could either deliver another championship to Chase Center or change the entire landscape of the NBA forever. Let's start with the name that should have every Warriors fan excited, Ryan Nembhard. This isn't just another draft prospect. This is a basketball savant who's about to work out for the team that revolutionized modern basketball. Picture this, a 22-year-old point guard standing 6'1", who just dropped 10.5 points and nearly 10 assists per game at Gonzaga, while shooting 40% from three-point range. But here's what those numbers don't tell you. Nembhard doesn't just play basketball, he conducts it like a symphony. The basketball IQ is off the charts. When you watch Nembhard orchestrate an offense, you're not just seeing a player, you're witnessing a chess master who sees 3 moves ahead. His court vision isn't just exceptional, it's supernatural. The way he threads passes through traffic, the timing of his feeds to cutting teammates, the way he manipulates defenses with his eyes alone. This is next-level stuff. What makes this even more intriguing? His last name carries serious NBA pedigree. Andrew Nembhard, his older brother, just torched the Eastern Conference playoffs with the Indiana Pacers, averaging 21 points and nearly 8 assists in the conference finals. That's not coincidence. That's championship DNA flowing through the family bloodline. But here's where it gets really interesting for the Warriors. Steve Kerr has always valued basketball intelligence over raw athleticism. Think about it. The Warriors' system doesn't need another explosive athlete. It needs a cerebral player who can maximize the talents of superstars around him. Nembhard fits that mold perfectly. The steal numbers tell another story entirely. 1.7 steals per game isn't just solid defense. It's anticipation. It's reading offensive sets before they develop. It's the kind of defensive instinct that translates immediately to the NBA level, especially in Golden State's switch-heavy defensive schemes. And let's talk about that shooting efficiency. 44.6% from the field and 40% from 3. Those aren't just good numbers for a point guard. They're elite numbers that scream NBA ready. In today's pace and space league, having a backup point guard who can stretch the floor while running the offense is like finding a unicorn. The workout with the Warriors isn't just a formality. When Golden State brings a player in for individual sessions, they're serious. This organization doesn't waste time on courtesy interviews. They see something special in Nembhard. And frankly, so should we. Now let's shift gears to a player who could solve one of the Warriors' most pressing needs, Naz Reid. At 25 years old and standing 6'9", Reid represents everything modern NBA teams crave in a frontcourt player. Here's what makes Reid special. He's averaging 14.8 points and 6.2 rebounds while shooting nearly 39% from three-point range. But those numbers only scratch the surface of what he brings to the table. Reid isn't just a big man who can shoot. He's a basketball player who happens to be tall. The versatility is staggering. Reid can create his own shot off the dribble, something most centers can only dream of doing. He's comfortable handling the ball in transition, making plays for teammates, and stretching defenses to the breaking point with his range. Think about this from a Warriors perspective. Imagine Reid sharing the floor with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Defenses would be in an impossible situation. How do you guard 3 legitimate three-point threats when one of them is 6'9", and can also attack the rim with authority? The Minnesota Timberwolves connection adds another layer of intrigue. Reed has been thriving in a system that values ball movement and spacing. Sound familiar? The transition to Golden State's offense wouldn't be a learning curve. It would be coming home. But here's the kicker. Reed has a $15 million player option for next season, and all indications suggest he's going to test free agency. That creates a perfect storm for the Warriors to make their move. The defensive concerns are overblown. Yes, Reed isn't going to anchor your defense like Rudy Gobert, but the Warriors don't need that. They need someone who can hold their own in switches, contest shots, and rebound effectively. Reed checks all those boxes while providing offensive upside that few big men in the league can match. Joe Lacob and Bob Myers didn't build a championship culture by playing it safe. They identified players who fit their system and went after them aggressively. Reed represents that same. And then there's the conversation that has every NBA fan talking. Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Warriors. Let's be clear about something. This isn't just wishful thinking from desperate fans. There are legitimate reasons why this speculation has legs. The circumstances are aligning perfectly. Milwaukee's early playoff exit, Damian Lillard's injury concerns, and Giannis potentially exploring his options create a scenario that didn't exist just months ago. When a player of Antetokounmpo's caliber even hints at evaluating his situation, every franchise worth their salt pays attention. Joe Lacob's admiration for Giannis isn't a secret. The Warriors owner has made it clear that adding a player of Antetokounmpo's caliber would be a dream scenario. More importantly, both Giannis and Stephen Curry are represented by Octagon, which could facilitate conversations that might otherwise be impossible. But let's pump the brakes for a second. The Milwaukee Bucks aren't exactly advertising a fire sale. Trading a two-time MVP in his prime would require a package so overwhelming that it might gut the receiving team's future. The Warriors would likely need to part with multiple young talents, future draft picks, and possibly even established players. The competition factor can't be ignored either. If Giannis becomes available, every contending team in the league will throw their hat in the ring. The Toronto Raptors are already being mentioned as having mutual interest with Antetokounmpo, and they're not going to be the only suitors. Here's what makes this interesting from a Warriors perspective. Golden State still has championship-caliber pieces in place. Curry, Thompson, and Draymond Green provide a foundation that few teams can match. Adding Giannis to that core wouldn't just create a super team, it would create a historically dominant franchise. The timeline works too. Curry is still playing, at an elite level, but the championship window won't stay open forever. If the Warriors are serious about maximizing their remaining opportunities with this core, a swing for a player like Giannis makes strategic sense. Same philosophy, a calculated risk with championship-level upside. What ties all these moves together is the Warriors' championship or bust mentality. This isn't an organization that's content with playoff appearances or moral victories. They've tasted championship glory, and they're hungry for more. Ryan Nembhard represents the future. A young, intelligent point guard who could develop into the perfect complement to the Warriors' system. Naz Reid represents the present, an immediate upgrade who could push this team over the top in the next season or two. Giannis represents the ultimate prize, a game-changing superstar who could extend the championship window for years to come. The salary cap gymnastics would be complex, but the Warriors have shown they're willing to pay luxury tax penalties for championship-caliber talent. When you've got ownership committed to winning at the highest level, financial obstacles become manageable challenges rather than insurmountable barriers. Steve Kerr's system has always been about maximizing individual talents within a team concept. Nembhard's court vision, Reed's versatility, and potentially Giannis's two-way dominance all fit that philosophy perfectly. We're not talking about forcing square pegs into round holes. These are players whose skill sets naturally complement what Golden State does best. The development infrastructure is already in place. The Warriors have proven they can integrate new players quickly and effectively. Remember how seamlessly Kevin Durant fit into the system? Or how quickly Jordan Poole evolved from draft pick to key contributor? This organization knows how to maximize talent. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: the power of Dub Nation in player recruitment. When players see Chase Center rocking, when they experience the energy and passion of Warriors fans, it leaves an impression. That atmosphere becomes part of the pitch when the front office is trying to convince elite talent to join the franchise. Social media has amplified this effect. Players see the love that Warriors fans show their team, and that influences their decision-making process. Why do you think so many players speak positively about the Golden State organization even when they're not on the team? The championship culture speaks for itself too. Players want to win, and the Warriors have proven they know how to get it done when it matters most. That track record carries serious weight in recruitment conversations. And let's not forget the Bay Area lifestyle factor. California weather, tech industry connections, and the overall quality of life in the region all play roles in attracting talent. These might seem like minor considerations, but they add up when players are making life-changing decisions about their careers. Looking ahead, the Warriors are positioning themselves for sustained excellence. Whether they land 1, 2, or all 3 of these targets, the organization is clearly committed to remaining competitive at the highest level. The depth chart implications are fascinating to consider. Adding Nembhard gives them insurance at point guard and a potential long-term solution. Reed provides front-court flexibility and matchup advantages that could be crucial in playoff series. Giannis would obviously transform everything about the team's ceiling and championship odds. But even if none of these moves materialize, the fact that Golden State is actively pursuing elite talent sends a message to the rest of the league. This isn't a franchise that's winding down or accepting mediocrity. They're hunting for another championship, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. The development of existing players continues to be crucial too. Jordan Poole's growth, Jonathan Kuminga's potential, and Moses Moody's progression all factor into the team's long-term plans. Adding veteran talent doesn't mean abandoning young players. It means creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Dub Nation, here's the bottom line. We're witnessing an organization that refuses to accept anything less than championship-level excellence. Whether it's identifying under-the-radar talents like Ryan Nembhard, pursuing proven commodities like Naz Reid, or dreaming big with superstars like Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Warriors are playing to win. The next few months will be crucial in determining how this all shakes out. Draft workouts, free agency negotiations, and potential trade discussions will shape the roster that takes the floor next season. What I want to know from you: which of these potential additions excites you most? Are you Team Nembhard, hoping to see the next great Warriors point guard develop? Team Reed, wanting that immediate front-court upgrade? Or are you all in on the Giannis dream, ready to see what might be the most dominant roster in NBA history? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay locked in on all the latest Warriors news and analysis. The championship chase continues, and we're going to be here for every step of the journey. Strength in numbers, Dub Nation. Let's go Warriors.